So welcome to session 3 of the Archetypical Mind study group. Today we are going to talk about the potentiator.
We thank the one infinite creator for this opportunity to serve, to know ourselves, to accept ourselves, and to become creators. Let our hearts be filled with gratitude to those of Ra for bringing us the archetypes as a tool for this inner work, and those of Quo for extending our knowledge of these tools. We extend our gratitude to the channeling team at LL Research for bringing us this knowledge. We invite Quo to join us in this working. We also invite our guides, our higher selves, and the Ascended Masters to grace us with your presence and to show us what we need to know. May all beings find what they truly seek. Amen.
So I went into Google and asked what is the definition of potentiator. And a potentiator is something that enhances or increases the power, effect, or likelihood of another thing. In medicine and chemistry, a potentiator is an agent that amplifies the effect of a drug or biochemical reaction. So that is the potentiator. In 74.4, the magician was named as a significant archetype. However, it was not recognized that this portion of the archetypical mind represents not a portion of the deep subconscious, but the conscious mind, and more especially the will. The archetype, called by some the high priestess, then, is the corresponding intuitive or subconscious faculty.
Questioner, could you elaborate, please, on the nature and quality of the matrix and the potentiator? Ra, I am Ra. In the mind complex, the matrix may be described as consciousness. It has been called the magician. It is to be noted that of itself, consciousness is unmoved. The potentiator of consciousness is the unconscious. This encompasses a vast realm of potential in the mind.
Questioner, would the archetype then that has been called the high priestess, which represents the intuition, be properly the second of the archetypes? Ra, I am Ra. This is correct. You see here the recapitulation of the beginning knowledge of this logos, that is, matrix and potentiator. The unconscious is indeed what may be poetically described as high priestess, for it is the potentiator of the mind, and as potentiator for the mind is that principle which potentiates all experience.
I am Ra. The matrix of the mind is that from which all comes. It is unmoving, yet is the activator and potentiation of all mind activity. The potentiator of the mind is that great resource which may be seen as the sea into which the consciousness dips ever deeper and more thoroughly in order to create, ideate, and become more self-conscious.
Questioner. The first change made then for this extension of free will was to make the information or make the communication between the matrix and potentiator of the mind relatively unavailable one to the other during the incarnation. Is this correct? Ra, I am Ra. We would perhaps rather term the condition as relatively more mystery-filled than relatively unavailable. Questionnaire. Well, the idea then was to create some type of veil between matrix and potentiator. Is this correct? Ra, I am Ra. This is correct. Questionnaire. This veil then occurs between what we now call the conscious and the unconscious mind. Is this correct? Ra, I am Ra. This is correct.
Questioner, I will read several statements here and ask for Ra's comment on the statement. First, until an entity becomes consciously aware of the evolutionary process of the logos, or intelligent energy creates the potentials for an entity to gain the experience necessary for polarization, would Ra comment on that? I am Ra, this is so. Then this occurs because the potentiator of the mind is directly connected through the roots of the tree of mind to the archetypical mind and to the logos which created it, and because the veil between the matrix and the potentiator of the mind allows for the development of the will, would Ra comment.
Ra, I am Ra. Some untangling may be needed. As the mind-body-spirit complex, which has not yet reached the point of the conscious awareness of the process of evolution, prepares for incarnation, it has programmed for it a less than complete, that is to say, a partially randomized system of learnings. The amount of randomness of potential catalyst is proportional to the newness of the mind-body-spirit complex to third density. This then becomes a portion of that which you may call a potential for incarnational experience. This is indeed carried within that portion of the mind which is of the deep mind, the architecture of which may be envisioned as being represented by that concept complex known as the potentiator.
Questioner, then you are saying that the source of pre-incarnatively programmed catalyst is the potentiator of the mind? I am Ra. No, we are suggesting that the potentiator of the mind is an archetype which may aid the adept in grasping the nature of this pre-incarnative and continuingly incarnative series of choices.
Ra, I am Ra. The potentiator of mind and of body are both involved in the questing of the infant for new experience. The mind-body-spirit complex, which is an infant, has one highly developed portion which may be best studied by viewing the significators of mind and body. You notice we do not include the spirit. That portion of a mind-body-spirit complex is not reliably developed in each and every mind-body-spirit complex. Thusly, the infant's significant self, which is the harvest of biases of all previous incarnational experiences, offers to this infant biases with which to meet new experience.
However, the portion of the infant which may be articulated by the matrix of the mind is indeed unfed by experience and has the bias of reaching for this experience through free will, just as intelligent energy in the kinetic phase through free will creates the logos. These sub-logoi then, or those portions of the mind-body-spirit complex which may be articulated by consideration of the potentiators of mind and body through free will, choose to make alterations in the experiential continuum. The results of these experiments in novelty are then recorded in the portion of the mind and body articulated by the matrices thereof.
Questionnaire. Are all activities that the entity has from the state of infancy a function of the potentiator of the mind? Ra, I am Ra. Firstly, although the functions of the mind are indeed paramount over those of the body being the creature of the mind, certainly not all actions of a mind-body-spirit complex could be seen to be due to the potentiating qualities of the mind complex alone, as the body, and in some cases the spirit, also potentiates action. Secondly, as a mind-body-spirit complex becomes aware of the process of spiritual evolution, more and more of the activities of the mind and body which precipitate activity are caused by those portions of the mind-body-spirit complex which are articulated by the archetypes of transformation.
Questioner, in card number 2, the potentiator of the mind, we see a female seated on a rectangular block. She is veiled and sitting between two pillars, which seem to be identically covered with drawings, but one is much darker than the other. I am assuming that the veil represents the veil between the conscious and subconscious, or matrix and potentiator of the mind. Is this correct? Ra, I am Ra. This is quite correct.
Questionnaire. I'm assuming that she sits between the different colored columns with a dark one on her left to indicate at this position an equal opportunity for the potentiation of the mind to be of the negative or positive nature. Would Ra comment on this? Ra, I am Ra. Although this is correct, it is not as perceptive as the notice that the priestess, as this figure has been called, sits within a structure in which polarity, symbolized as you correctly noted by the light and dark pillars, is an integral and necessary part. The unfed mind has no polarity, just as intelligent infinity has none. The nature of the sub logos, which offers the third density experience, is one of polarity, not by choice, but by careful design. We perceive an unclear statement. The polarity of potentiator is there not for the matrix to choose. It is there for the matrix to accept as given.
Questioner, in other words, this particular illusion has polarity as its foundation, which might be represented by the structural significance of these columns. Is this correct? I am Ra. This is correct.
Questionnaire. It seems to me that the drawings on each of these columns are identical, but that the left-hand column, that is the one on the priestess's left, has been shaded much darker, indicating that the events and the experiences may be identical in the incarnation, but may be approached, viewed, and utilized with either polarity. Is this correct? Ra, I am Ra. This is correct. You will note also from the symbol denoting spirit in manifestation upon each pillar that the one infinite creator is no respecter of polarity, but offers itself in full to all. I guess what they mean is that the bird that's kind of in the middle of the pillars, that would be spirit.
Questioner, there seems to be a book on the priestess's lap, which is half hidden by a robe or material that covers her right shoulder. It would seem that this indicates that knowledge is available if the veil is lifted, but is not only hidden by the veil, but is hidden partially by her very garment, which she must somehow remove to become aware of the knowledge which she has available. Is this correct?
So the image that is now used by LL Research does not contain a book hidden there, but the original image that you can see on the right side, the Brotherhood of Light one, has some kind of scroll that is half hidden. And in the Raider weight cards, there's also some kind of book or scroll that is half hidden. Ra, I am Ra. In that the conceit of the volume was not originated by Ra, we ask that you release the volume from its strictured form. Your perceptions are quite correct. The very nature of the feminine principle of mind, which in Ra's suggestion was related specifically to what may be termed sanctified sexuality, is itself, without addition, the book which neither the feminine nor the male principle may use until the male principle has reached and penetrated in a symbolically sexual fashion the inner secrets of this feminine principle. All robes in this case, indicating the outer garments of custom, shield these principles. Thusly, there is great dynamic tension, if you will, betwixt the matrix and the potentiator of the mind.
Questioner, the fact that the priestess sits atop the rectangular block indicates to me that the potentiator of the mind has dominance or is above the material illusion. Is this in any way correct? I am Ra. Let us say rather that this figure is immanent, near at hand, shall we say, within all manifestation. The opportunities for the reaching to the potentiator are numerous. However, of itself, the potentiator does not enter manifestation.
Would the half moon on the crown represent the receptivity of the subconscious mind? Ra, I am Ra. This symbol is not given by Ra, but it is not distasteful, for within your own culture, the moon represents the feminine, the sun, the masculine. Thusly, we accept this portion as a portion of the image, for it seems without significant distortion.
Questioner, was the symbol on the front of the priestess's shirt given by Ra? I am Ra. The crux ansata is the correct symbol. The addition and slight distortion of this symbol thereby is astrological and may be released from its stricture. Questioner, would this crux ansata then be indicating the sign of life as the spirit enlivening matter? I am Ra. This is quite correct. Moreover, it illuminates a concept which is a portion of the archetype which has to do with the continuation of the consciousness which is being potentiated in incarnation, beyond incarnation.
Questionnaire. Were the grapes depicted on the cloth over her shoulder of Ra's communication? Ra, I am Ra. Yes. Questionnaire. We have those as indicating the fertility of the subconscious mind. Is that correct? Ra, I am Ra. This is correct, O student, but note here the function of the mantle. There is great protection given by the very character of potentiation. To bear fruit is a protected activity.
Questioner, the protection here seems to be depicted as being on the right-hand side, but not the left. Would this indicate that there is protection for the positive path, but not for the negative? I am Ra. You perceive correctly an inborn bias offering to the seeing eye and listening ear information concerning the choice of the more efficient polarity. We would, at this time, as you may call it, suggest one more full query.
And these are some quotes. The potentiator is cast also as a royal being, and it is perhaps efficacious in terms of what we would give to this entity at this time to figure forth this potentiator as the guardian angel, the guidance, the guru, the agent of divine change. For as the matrix reaches to the potentiator, the need of the matrix creates the gifts of the potentiator.
There is a constant organic and mutual back and forth of information between the matrix who reaches and the potentiator who awaits the reaching. And all that is hidden within the potentiator changes every time the potentiator releases fruit from behind the veil. That is the hidden nature of things unknown. One person on one day shall receive fruit from spirit. That same person on another day, with just the tiniest change in seeking, in attitude, in state of mind, shall receive an entirely different fruit. So we cannot offer the comfortable assurance that all is in safe hands, that all is prepared, that all will go one way. The archetypal journey is far more creative and far more plastic.
We would agree with you, my brother, when you note the long, long history of the subjugation of women in the Jewish religion, in the Christian religion, and in the religion of Islam. Together, there is that prejudice that to the male is allocated the capacity for priesthood, but not to the female. Think of the figure in the tarot image of the potentiator of the mind, shielding the book of life within her veil, and we believe that you have the essence of why this prejudice exists. The truth is, it is to the female principle that spiritual knowledge is given, not as one who tells, but as one who carries. It is not that the biological female is more knowledgeable of spiritual things than the male. It is that the very essence of femininity, the archetypical nature, contains knowledge in a direct sense of the truth for which the male grasps endlessly, but which he can never completely uncover, for it resides in the mystery with which women are comfortable and men are not.
Let us gaze at the archetypes of the mind. Firstly, the matrix of the mind. This essence or energy is the untaught seeker, the beginner's mind reaching, and again reaching. For what? The potentiator of the mind is that which receives the desire and enables it by a process of reflection and blessing. The significator of the mind is then the result of the matrix entity or archetypical figure reaching or intending that which can only be potentiated by the seemingly passive potentiator, that seated figure which has within the bosom great wisdom. Thusly, the matrix of the mind is able to record incoming data, and through the potentiator, once again, is able to deliver to the archetype of the catalyst of the mind, that the catalyst which shall become experience.
The power of the potentiator of the mind has as its power a kind of depth of the wisdom of the heart or compassion. And it is this compassion in its many subtleties to which the mind reaches for a depth of understanding of what the path of the seeker for truth might find helpful. I just love how beautifully Kuo describes the potentiator. I'm going to stop sharing here.
Yeah, I'm going to go into the meditation in a minute, but I just wanted to ask, does everyone here know how to open up their chakras? You're muted. Yeah, okay, you all have your own way of doing it, right? Okay. And I have a bell today, so I will ring the bell when it's time to start discussion. So get yourself comfortable. Deep breath in, hold, slow breath out, hold, deep breath in, hold, slow breath out, hold, one more, deep breath in, hold, slow breath out, hold, and relax. Feel the wave of relaxation moving up your body, from your toes up to your crown, and back down, opening up your red ray energy center, and then opening your orange energy center, your yellow energy center, your green ray energy center, your blue ray energy center, your indigo ray energy center, and your violet ray energy center. And descend as deep as you can into the inner self and relax. As you descend, you get comfortable. You find yourself sitting by a body of water which is very still. It could be a lake or a pond, and you're sitting there comfortably enjoying the silence. You feel a figure moving towards you from inside the depth of the body of water. It has come from a very, very deep place, which is emerging out of the water to greet you. And she's brought you a gift. Picture yourself holding out the palms of your hands to receive this gift. And as you receive the gift, you realize that it's not really a gift, it's something that was made for you, and it was always intended for your use. And the woman who emerged from the water has been looking after it for you. And silently she lets you know that this will aid you on your journey. And you sit there with her for a while. And as you bathe yourself in her presence, you realize that she is an aspect of you. And she has always been with you. And you're reunited now. And you sit with her, extending your gratitude for being custodian of this gift that she's bestowed on you. And as you sit with her, you feel a deep knowing of who she truly is. And a deep knowing that she is an integral part of you. The lady indicates to you now that she needs to go back into the water. And as she rises to leave, you feel yourself filled with gratitude for her presence, knowing that you can come back to this place anytime you need to, and she will emerge again to greet you.